What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Lagunitas Brewing Company, and they're out of both Petaluma, California and Chicago, Illinois, and this is their Born Yesterday, the 2019 release, and it's a part of their one-hitter series. So this is what they're calling a fresh hop pale ale, which is an American pale ale, comes in at 7.2% alcohol by volume. The IBUs they list on their website, it just says high, and when it comes to Lagunitas, that has more than one meaning, if you catch my drift. And at the time of review, this bottle is approximately 3.5 weeks old. So I believe they have been releasing this one in bottles or in package form since 2015. And my favorite of any of the vintages was the 2016. That was my favorite to date. And a lot of people, a lot of my friends on Untappd and a couple reviews I've seen from fellow beer tubers are saying that this one is very reminiscent of the 2016 vintage, very dank and whatnot. So yeah, I'm into it. And on their website, they list the hops as Simcoe, Citra, Mosaic, and the Indigenous Catawampus hops. Yeah, they say that. They do. Do I believe them? I don't know, maybe. Anyway, Simcoe, Citra, Mosaic, sign me up. So yeah, let's crack this one open. Yeah, the 2016 was my favorite of all the releases from them. I love that beer, and I even remember on Untappd saying, like, I wish this was year-round. This is, a wet hop pale ale, so usually gets released around, October time. So yeah, anyway, let's give it a pour, see what we got going on here. Yeah, it's looking very akin to the 2016 as far as I remember. It has a nice haze game to it. So yeah, this isn't super murky and crazy hazy, but it does have a nice haze to it. That's really like a bright orange color. Like I said, some murkiness to it, some haze to it, but not, like opaque or anything. Has about 1.5 fingers of a off-white head, very creamy looking, looks beautiful in the glass. That's all I can say. Looks beautiful in glass, the skin knows. Yeah, wow. That's dank. Holy shit, is that dank. So that's Simcoe and like the Citra Mosaic, beautiful blend together, but that's Simcoe. A lot of people say cattiness. I'm not getting a cattiness in this. I'm getting more of a like onion, garlic, dankness to the nose. Yeah, definitely big time, like more of like a garlic than onion. It has like that sharp dank component to it. Underneath though, a lot of ruby red grapefruit, sweeter citrus tones, like a blood orange, tangerine. I'd usually say Tangelo, but I'm not really getting Tangelo. I'm not. Touch of like stone fruit, peach, and apricot as well. Slight hint of blueberry, probably from the Mosaic. There's an ever so slight like malt character. Has almost like a sweeter, like almost cakey malt thing going on. It's very, very subtle though. It's underneath everything. Nondescript earthiness. Yeah, that really dank, herbaceous, just like garlic onion thing is really nice in this one. And there's a lot of people out there that be like, wow, I do not want onion and garlic anywhere near my beer. And I get it. But for me, the first couple times I've had any kind of beer that had those characteristics, it was a beer with Summit hops. And it just was kind of just a completely different animal. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't like it. But I grew to like the whole onion, garlic, herbaceous, like really dank character over time. So if you're getting into craft beer and you get those characters and your mind's kind of confused, you're not the only one. But your palate will acclimate to it over time if you give it a chance. And I gave it a chance and it totally did. And I love the smell of this. This just has a very complex, just really awesome smell to it. Has enough fruitiness. It has, that dank character, has a little bit of malt. It's great. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Yep. I love it. It's that, again, that onion and garlic, more garlic than anything, but it has a huge dank character to this one. If you don't like that dankness in your IPAs, you probably won't like this one. Maybe you will, though. I don't know. Right up front, all the dankness, garlic, onion, herbaceousness, just a generic dankness, passes through the palate. That ruby red grapefruit, maybe even a little bit of like the rind of a grapefruit or the zest of the grapefruit too, because there's a little bit of like zestiness, a little bit of bitterness too. Sweeter blood orange, generic, just like navel orange component, has like a sweeter orange juice vibe to it. That peach and apricot, more to the pit of like a peach than the actual flesh part, and just like eating the juiciness of a peach. Finishes with I would say like a moderate bitterness, a slight dryness and a little bit of a residual sweetness kick as well. The body on this one is about medium body, 7.2%. I'm fine with that. The mouthfeel, you know, this is not a New England style IPA, so I'm not looking for a super soft, smooth, creamy mouthfeel. It's carbonated, and as such, I think it's appropriate for what they're going for, which is American Pale Ale or fresh hop American Pale Ale. There's a soft smoothness to it as well, ever so slight. No creaminess or anything. It just has I think the body and mouthfeel on this are perfect for what this beer is. 7.2% is a bigger pale ale, so, you know, maybe the body a little bit kicked up, but for me, medium body is fine. That is a super easy to drink. Like, this is complex, but like a reserved complex character to it. The complexity of this beer is not as high as maybe a lot of other beers I've had, but I don't want it to be super complex. What I want is a super drinkable, fresh hop, in your face, like pungent hop character. And that's what I'm getting. That dankness is so bold and intense. It's great. That garlic onion thing going on is fantastic as well. And I get enough of like the fruity citrus, you know, the orange juice, the ruby red grapefruit, a little bit of tangerine, that peach and apricot stone fruit. There's enough complexity here to keep me interested, but it doesn't even need to be complex because I just think the overall character of this beer for me, it doesn't matter if there's 2 or 3 or 7 or 8 different notes. It's just extremely well made and quite tasty. As you can see, I'm throwing this back. I will be done with this glass in no time, and that's scary because this is 7.2%. I can't taste it on the palate. Little bit of warming like into my chest, but ever so slight. Drink probably an entire 6-pack of this, and I'd be hammered. Let's be honest, I'd be hammered. And I would love every second of it because this beer is delicious. Yeah, just a damn good beer. As I'm starting to drink, maybe the bitterness is building up a little bit. It's like a firm, moderate bitterness. But I appreciate that nowadays, as I said in so many reviews over the last year. Just, you know, I enjoy the bitterness aspect of IPAs now, where I used to hate them. That was the one thing that would deter me from buying them. You know, going back 5, 7, you know, almost 10 years ago, I would be like, oh man, I fucking hate the bitterness in beer, especially IPAs. But now I appreciate it. Drinking so many of the hazies and the sweeter IPAs, it's like I appreciate the bitterness in here. It has a moderate bitterness, and I do like that. So I think this is, like I said, well balanced, very cohesive, and quite intense. This is a fresh hop pale ale that kind of shows its true colors, and I love every second of it. So Lagunitas, born yesterday, the 2019 release, a part of their one-hitter series. I'm going to give this a high 4.5 out of 5. I'm going to go 4.6 out of 5. This is a beer that close to 4.7 for me, or 4.75. This is a great beer. If you've never had this beer before, by the time this review comes out, I don't know if they did different batches of it or not, but my can, by the time this is released, my bottle. I was totally a can. My bottle at the time that this video will be released, right around a month old. But I think this will hang on for another probably 2 to 4 weeks. You obviously want to drink this one as fresh as possible with the fresh hops and the fact that the name of it is born yesterday and they want you to drink it super fresh. But I think if you drank this one somewhere around 6 to 8 weeks old, you still wouldn't be disappointed. 3.5 weeks old, still drinking awesome. So if you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. I'm sure a lot of you have had prior vintages, but if you've had the 2019 specifically, let me know what you think about it, because I think this is the best of the vintages. The last 2 years were good, but 2016 was still my favorite, and this falls right in line with that one. I think this actually has, you know, trying to go off of memory, I think this one has a little bit more intensity to the dank character than I remember 2016. Regardless, it's a fucking delicious beer. Price and availability, you know, it's Lagunitas price point. It's going to vary from place to place. I think I paid like $2.19 for this bottle. I'm pretty sure 6-packs are like $12, $13 for something of this quality, the ABV, the fresh hops, the whole 9. That's a fucking great value. And the availability, wherever you get Lagunitas, which is everywhere, grab it. If you see this one, grab it. Even at 4 or 5 weeks old, this should be drinking amazingly well. So yeah, there's not much more to say about it. 4.6 out of 5 for born yesterday, 2019 release, part of their one-hitter series. Fantastic beer. And I'm going to shut it down because I'm going on way too long about this beer, but it deserves it because this is a fucking delicious beer. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. And until the next one, cheers.